Rough Cuts. Adam Stanchek. For another Thursday movie. This is another unedited movie review from a hotel room. Sorry, it's just part of life. Today I'm going to review the movie In the Name of the Father. This is the bad angle to lay at. In the Name of the Father. I watched it on Netflix last night. It's a Daniel Day-Lewis movie. It's about this Irish dude who kind of got accused of being in the IRA and doing a big attack. It's based on a true story. I don't know how much of it is actually true, what actually happened, but I watched it because it had Daniel Day-Lewis in it, and he's a good actor. The more I watch, the more I can see, like, the dude really does put a lot into his work, and so it's hard not to. I should turn off the air conditioning if I'm going to be filming. But it's hard not to like it when somebody. Oh, that was a bad shot too. When somebody puts so much work into acting in a role, it's hard not to enjoy it. And this one was pretty good too, like everything else. The only other stuff I've seen of his, Gangs in New York, My Left Foot, and There Will Be Blood. But this was good. So anyway, he gets accused of, like, doing this attack, and in actuality, apparently he didn't do the attack, and the British government just kind of propped him up as the villain, him and some other people as the villain, because they needed to win this war on terrorism, and needed to have a bad guy. And he was jailed for a long time, and you if you see the movie, you'll see what happens, or if you know your history, you'll know what happened. But a lot of moving parts, a lot of just kind of entertaining parts. I wouldn't say it's an action, it's definitely a drama. If you have to categorize every movie before you watch it, you'd say drama on this one. But it's good, it's on Netflix. I didn't find it boring. Sometimes you'll get into one of those good dramas and it'll be kind of boring, but I didn't find it boring at all. Like I said, the acting was good, and that's what attracted me to it. And I wasn't let down. There was definitely some parts where it's like, wow. Daniel Day-Lewis is doing stuff that I don't think most actors would do in a role. Or when he shows emotion, too. He's very good at showing emotion. Like, when he cries, you really feel like the dude is really sad. And that makes for a good flick to watch. So overall, good. I mean, it was a story I didn't know about, and it's kind of interesting when you look back on some history and see. I mean, all that stuff still, you know, current times, weird stuff happens too. But it's kind of weird to see how things happened back in the day. I mean, before, like, DNA testing, how the legal system could work and that kind of thing. But again, I don't really know what goes on nowadays anyway. How much I wouldn't want to be put in jail, if, you know. And the way that these people treated him and his friends and family, it had to constitute torture. And I don't know what I mean, it's not like they were trying to even get information out of him. They were just trying to almost like brainwash him into thinking that he did it, or just breaking him so he'd say that he did it. And I really don't know in reality how that kind of thing would fly. I watched another movie the other day too. This is going to be a boring one because I'm not editing any of my gaps out. But I watched another movie the other day called The Conspirator. I think that's what it was called. And had Justin Long. Who else? Who was the main dude? But it was like about the Abraham Lincoln. I'm drawing a blank. I watched it like 2 days ago. I didn't realize that there's similarities between the movies, but it was another, like, there was a lot of like legal things where you know, people were getting a bad case just because the lawyers were like being able to just dominate the courts and stuff, and it didn't matter what you did, the courts were going to convict you. And I don't know how realistic that is, because it seems like if you didn't do anything, it shouldn't be too hard to be like hey, factually this is what happened. But I don't know. I don't know how the courts work. So anyway, this was my rambling, kind of not pointed review of In the Name of the Father. And then I talked about that other Lincoln assassination movie. What the hell was the main actor? Young guy. He was young. You want to sit here while I figure it out? Oh, that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna Google it as soon as I'm done recording. Okay, guys, see you next week. How do I turn this son of a bitch off?